Welcome back to today's episode of Glitchy People Change the World. Thanks for joining me. Today, we're starting with the idea that the first thing you need to do is decide to jump in. Philip Booth was an American poet. Back in the 1980s, in an interview, he said, "I think survival is at stake for all of us all the time. I strongly feel that every poem, every work of art, everything that is well done, well made, well said, generously given, adds to our chances of survival by making the world and our lives more habitable." This is wonderful news. The future is bright. We'll solve the world's huge problems through creative thinking, including yours. You can make the world and our lives more habitable, as Booth said. You can add to the creative whole and save our planet from the catastrophes we face. You don't need to win, but you must decide to not accept sympathy. Creators come from different fields or different domains. Some build businesses, some paint landscapes, some write poetry, some make greeting cards out of recycled paper towels. Some find new ways to feed the hungry, and some change the way humans communicate. Normally, the word artist describes a limited list of vocations. I combine them all together into the term creator. As a creator, you share a culture with other artists, and they understand your mindset. But even among creators, you are somewhat alone because you're different from the most people you know because your creativity is unique, and so you're kind of living alone on an island. Rollo May also said creativity is a yearning for immortality. So creative people die just like everyone else, but they leave monuments. They leave heritages, as will you. Robert Sternberg is an eminent psychologist who does research in this area. He says creative people approach problems in unique ways. He said they have four distinct habits. They look for new ways to see problems, they stand up for their beliefs, they take risks, and they overcome obstacles to their views. So those are the four habits you need to develop. The course scope, really, it's a question. Is creativity a branch of psychology or of the fine arts? And the answer is both and more. Creativity is actually studied by various fields, such as psychology, pedagogy, management, and economics, other social sciences, engineering. So the list of people who can be artists or creators is pretty extensive. For example, entrepreneurs, painters, video producers, sculptors, game developers, marketers, advertisers, community developers, writers, inventors, teachers, salespeople, magicians, designers, researchers, economic developers, photographers, musicians, filmmakers, and game developers, and many others. Just a hint, if you want to change the world, combine two of these domains and use both of them to leverage each other and come up with an even more awesome solution. Back to Rollo May, he said, if you do not express your own original ideas, if you do not listen to your own being, you will have betrayed yourself. And it's sort of reiterated by Abraham Maslow, another eminent psychologist. He's the one that gave us Maslow's hierarchy of values. And what he's talking about here really deals with self-actualization. He said, musicians must make music, artists must paint, poets must write if they are to ultimately be at peace with themselves. What human beings can be, they must be. They must be true to their own nature. So ask yourself, as you're going through these lessons, instead of asking, what if this doesn't work? Ask instead, what if this does work? Don't ask, what if this is just another one of those things? Ask, what if this time I do become more successful? Don't ask, what if I fail? Ask, if I become more creative, how will my life be better? So let's jump into the first module. This is Chewing projects in small bites. This is my first recommendation for improving creative output. People with ADHD and some other glitches often see projects as too big to conquer. So I recommend chopping tasks into smaller bites. To succeed on a creative project, you can divide it up into smaller tasks. A few years ago, I started doing academic research. I wrote papers, but they made no sense. The research and theories were solid, but the writing didn't flow, so the editors couldn't understand what I wrote. So I developed an 8 step process. First, I typed a draft of the paper and then printed it out. Then I would cut each sentence out with scissors into strips. On a large table, I would spread out each sentence, and I would rearrange the sentences until paragraphs made sense. Then I would fix them together with cellophane tape, and then I would edit the soft copy to match the new arrangement. Then I would edit or add sentences on the soft copy, and finally I would print, cut the sentences out again, and rearrange them again on a table. The process might seem excessive, but it made academic writing possible. Do you struggle to complete tasks? Is logical flow difficult? There's an old saying asks, how do you eat an elephant? And the answer is one bite at a time. That's what you should do. This week, eat the left ear. Next week, eat the right leg. When you see progress, accelerating will be easier. Is writing a speech difficult? Then don't write a speech. Choose 3 subtopics, write 3 tiny speeches, one per topic, then write a 1 sentence summary of each tiny speech. Put those summaries together and form a conclusion. Then ask someone for help with transitions to fill out the structure. Don't try to start a company, just produce a business idea. The idea should fit 1, market need, 2, your interests, and 3, your ability. So just produce a great idea, then fill in the missing parts of your idea by talking to smart people. Then brainstorm a way to start selling a sample to a customer. Then adjust your idea to that customer's feedback. No one builds anything worthwhile in one day. They do it bit by bit, brick by brick, especially glitchy people. Here's another tool you can use. It's called the Pomodoro technique. So over 30 years ago, Francisco Cirillo was a university student trying to focus on his work. He used a kitchen timer to break his work into smaller tasks. His timer was shaped like a tomato, so he used the Italian word pomodoro to describe it. And you can use the same technique. Decide what task you want to do, then follow 5 steps to accomplish it. First, divide a project into 25-minute tasks. Second, set a timer for 25 minutes. Work on one task. When the timer rings, take a 5-minute break. Draw a check on a paper. Set the timer for 25 minutes and work on another task. Make another check. Take another 5-minute break. Repeat until you have 4 checks. Take a longer break, 15 to 30 minutes. Meet me back here tomorrow for the next module. I really hope that you will continue with us.